Okay, this is the first time one-armed pepper grower here. I can say mission accomplished. It's May 25th, Memorial Day, a day when we remember those whom have been lost by this country in the field of battle. We pray for their souls. This is also the unofficial start of summer. My project here to plant peppers has been accomplished. It didn't start off too well, but here we go. We'll go from left to right. So these here 5-gallon containers from Home Depot, kind of got these so that they kind of match the decor a little bit, the trim of the house. These are peppers that I started on February 2nd. Started them February 2nd, and this is a Scotch bonnet. We have red bell peppers here, and this is an orange bell pepper. So now over here, these are various peppers that were started at various times. We have a red habanero here, a serrano, a ghost pepper, a cayenne pepper, and Tabasco. And I said, what the heck, let's just reuse the containers from last year as well. So right to left here, we have an orange Scotch bonnet, an ancho pepper. Don't worry when you see more than 1 or 2 peppers in the same container, by the way. This was me trying to utilize all the peppers I had and not waste any of them. So I'll see what's viable. Some of them might get tossed if they don't end up being viable, but I'd much rather plant them than toss them. And then in some cases I just stuck a couple of extras in old containers from last year using the same mix. Just gave it a little bit of fertilizer. So we have serrano here, an ancho pepper. This one's a little bit interesting here. This is one of my overwintered peppers, and I just learned that term, by the way. One of my overwintered peppers that was infested with aphids. I took the instructions I got online and I washed them with soap and then brought them outside, separated them from the other peppers that were in the grow tent, and it went into shock outside because obviously in zone 7 here we still had some cold days, but as you can see the stem is still green, so I decided to just keep it. Now, why do I have another small set of peppers behind it? Well, let's just say again, I didn't want to toss out some extra peppers. Those are Scotch bonnets that happen to be extra in the starter tray. So I just stuck them in there as emergencies, just in case this ghost pepper does not end up becoming viable. We'll see. So continuing here, then what I did is I decided to test my soil to see whether or not it'll grow peppers. So I just stuck a few in here in the ground. So we have a cayenne pepper here in the ground, we have a ghost pepper in the ground, we have Scotch bonnet in the ground, and then we have a serrano, and last but not least an ancho pepper in the ground. And then here's the pride and joy here. I learned this term overwintering after I'd done this. I kept these peppers, brought them indoors last October, not knowing whether they would grow indoors or not, and then voila, they didn't keep their leaves, but they stayed green. The stems did. So I put them in the grow tent, and would you believe it, they're flowering. That one looks a little bit sick because it didn't have water. I just watered it. So I've watered all of them, and this one actually has a fruit, the first fruit of the season. I'm gonna actually remove that just so that all of these other buds get an opportunity to grow. So apologies for the road noise. Everyone should be staying home, but they're not. They're driving their very loud cars as I'm trying to record a video. So this is a ghost pepper. A Scotch bonnet. Right next to it here is a ghost pepper. The other thing I know I've learned from the internet is not to grow these things too close to each other. I just have the containers next to each other now as they're starting, and as you can see, the adult plants, I've separated them so that they don't cross-pollinate each other. So these are the experiments. Apologies for the shaking and the noise, but the first time one-arm pepper grower here, this was really difficult to grow to do this with one arm. It took the better part of 4 hours. And one thing I didn't find on the internet is what is the correct calculation for how much soil goes into a 5-gallon bucket. Well, I found out the good way today. I bought 9 bags of 25 quart Miracle Grow performance mix, organic soil, and just about 1.5 of those 25 quart bags goes into 1.5 containers 5-gallon containers take up one bag of 25 quart. So there, sorry about the confusing math, but I hope it works. So just in case you didn't hear it, you take one bag, 125 quart bag, it goes into about 1.5 or one and a third 5-gallon containers. So I'm hoping these are viable. I hope they work out. I do have to give credit to 3 people online. The Rusted Gardener, Kang Star, and the MI Gardener, Michigan Gardener. Sorry, I'm not using your names because I don't really remember all of your names except for Kang Star. But watching those YouTube videos over the last couple of years have really helped out to where I'm able to plant these peppers. So I hope they do end up becoming viable, and I hope I can tag you and thank you properly on YouTube. Okay, so one-armed pepper grower, first time, signing off and hoping for the best. Bon appetit. Peace.